everybody, and welcome back to another episode of
My Waifu
and Me. And on today's episode, we have an adventure planned. So I want to catch all of you up. For those of you unaware, Half Price Books is a Texas-based establishment that takes over-the-counter, secondhand books and resells them, sometimes at an inflated price. But we have become the masters of searching Half Price Books for the deals, for the steals, for all of the great prices that they occasionally have on good manga, okay? So today, we've taken it upon ourselves to go to every single Half Price Books in the Dallas area and buy manga from all of them. And here's the deal. You're probably thinking, well, Jerry, what is that, like 2 or 3? No, it's 11 stores. 11 different stores that sell manga here in the Dallas area. And here's the deal. There's actually 19 Half Price bookstores here in Dallas, in the DFW Metroplex, the DFW Megaplex, as you might call it. But for today's video, we're going to be focusing on the 11 stores just in what I would consider the Dallas side of town, which includes the Half Price Books flagship store, which is one that we frequent, but it'll be okay. So today, Waifu and I are going to go on a journey, an adventure even, and we're going to buy manga at all 11 stores in Dallas. Let's go. It's so freaking hot. It's so hot. Oh my God, what was I thinking? I'm so sorry. Here's our game action plan. The first one is a whopping 28 minutes away. That's where we gotta go first.
Why do we think it was a good idea to do this in 100-degree heat?
I don't know.
Happy 4th of July.
And just like that, we were off on what was going to certainly be a long day. So at this point, I'm regretting this. It is 100 degrees. We are only at our first Half Price Books. I'm sweating. Yeah, I'm just not sure. This is going to be a long day. And just like that, we were headed into our first Half Price Books for the day. And Waifu first had to sell a couple books, actually, which is nice. We were able to get a couple books out of the house. But then we just kind of moseyed around the store. And honestly, it's the first store of the day. We wanted to take our time a little bit. We thought, oh, this is going to be such a nice day. As you can see, I was already sweating. But we found the manga section where we were going to find the first manga that we had to buy for the day. And here's the deal. Each one of these stores, we have to buy at least one manga volume in. That is the challenge for the day. So we were scanning the shelves, looking, trying to decide what would be the manga that would be coming home with us. A few things that stood out to me were these iShield 21 volumes. Some of you might be collecting this might have been a good find, but as you can see, a few of the volumes were marked up in classic Half Price Crooks style. So they weren't all half price, they were a little bit marked up, but there were a few volumes that definitely stood out to us, including this Midori Days Volume 1, which I thought might be interesting to pick up. This is, I believe, an older title, but I don't know much about it. As well, we found an Osamu Tezuka title that is M3, I believe it is, but the spine was just so cracked that I just didn't know. So I want you to go back, look at the shelf, and try to figure out, what do you think we picked up at this store? What was the volume that you think we picked up at this first Half Price Books? Okay, so we are at our second Half Price Books of the day, and honestly, I'm feeling re-energized. The first one was actually like pretty fun, pretty nice. This is now number 2, and what we're doing with this trip is we are hitting the outskirts, the further away suburbs first, and then we're actually gonna head into the main part of Dallas proper and hit the main ones that are over there, just for ease, because we live a little closer to the main area. So we wanted to kind of hit all the outskirts and then like circle back in towards close to where we stay, so we'd be there at the end of the day. So that's what we're doing now. So let's head into our second Half Price Books of the day. I'm energized, I'm ready to go. Let's see what we find. And as we head into our second Half Price Books, it really starts to dawn on us what's coming ahead. And yes, it was very hot outside, but it honestly felt like an adventure because we knew that at each Half Price Books we would find the manga section, and that's what we came upon, was the manga section. And although at first we maybe didn't have a lot of hope for this one, we did start notice in the case we found some really cool stuff like Dance the Vampire Bun and some Zatch Bells there, which really excited me, as well as a couple other small things. I'm curious what you all see here that might be interesting, but I did pull some things from the shelf, including this Samurai Deeper Kyo, which I don't know if anyone remembers that series. I remember watching the anime as a kid, but also this one, which was Orasama Teacher, which is actually I believe it's a Comics 1 print, and just an old defunct publisher. It's always fun to find that, but also a newer volume of Spy Family for half off, which I guess someone bought it and already decided they didn't want it. And this one, which is based off a video game, which I thought was pretty interesting. But overall, this just felt like a good relief moment, you know? We were there, we were at Half Price Books, we were feeling the air, and we knew where we were headed next, to another Half Price Books. Okay, Half Price Books number 3. I'm feeling energetic. We've traveled almost over 50 miles already at this point to get to these 3 that we've already been to. Let's go in. And at this point, the energy was rising. It felt like each time that we hit a Half Price Books, we knew that there might be something, some sort of treasure hiding inside. And I think that at this point, you could feel it, right? Like we were definitely gonna hit big, and the shelf was okay. The manga shelf was okay. It wasn't anything phenomenal, but there was some manga there and some stuff that people probably might be interested in. Some of it was a little damaged, some of it not. But as you can see, they at least had a pretty solid selection for people to consider what stuff they might want to pick up. We always have to show, though, that at every Half Price Books, they lock a couple books behind the case, and generally, this is where you find your half price crooks. So this is where they charge up, they add more to the volumes, they make it more expensive. There's a worst volume for Weeabra, I should have picked that up for him, or this Knights of Zodiac Saint Seiya, which is $70, but I want to go back to the shelf and really spend some time on this shelf because I just felt like there was a lot going on the main shelf. Let's go through it a little bit. So first I saw these Cheese Sweet Home singles. You generally see these in the more omnibus formats, so it was cool to at least see the singles for half their original price. You also see a lot of Fairy Tail, which someone's excited about somewhere. It's not me, but someone's excited about it. There was some Ghost in the Shell and these old prints of Ron Mahaf, which I thought was really cool as well. And then you kind of scan through here and you say, okay, Jerry, what is he going to find? And then you see this old Shonen Jump. It's actually a discontinued Shonen Jump title called Kurohime. Thought it might be interesting. And then you're scanning, and what? Toriko, which is an out-of-print series for the most part. There are some still volumes you can get for retail price, but overall, it was just interesting to see more just different stuff. And I think that's what makes going to Half Price Books so fun, is that you're able to find stuff that you just otherwise maybe wouldn't have. And as we leave, I did see these pop figures, but let's keep going on this long day. Okay, Half Price Books number 4. We're in the groove now. We're just going to go inside. We've already bought manga at 3 other Half Price Books. We just got to keep going at this point. I mean, the time is ticking. We got to get to all 11 by the end of the day, so here we go. I think at this point, it started to dawn on us just how difficult it would actually be to make it to 11 Half Price Books locations in one day. So we started to see a bunch of stuff repeating as of this location. That's mainly because Half Price Books does get in a couple new volumes that they sell at a slightly reduced price. But we did find these really cool pulp magazines, which if you have any knowledge of some old era, they published some Taiyo Matsumoto works, as well as Banana Fish originally in these pulp magazine format, which is pretty cool, similar to Shonen Jump magazine. Also found Twin Spica, but Tokyo Ghoul, and then this One Piece volume that was way too marked up. But the time is ticking. We've got to make it to another Half Price Books as quick as we can. Quick stopover for some fun drinks at Sonic. And while we did stop to get some drinks, it was really to re-energize ourselves. But we went into this store, and honestly, it was starting to dawn on us that we had to buy a volume of manga at every single half-price bookstore that we visited as a part of this challenge. So I think it was starting to get a little stressful, but it wasn't that bad, honestly, right? Look at all this manga. There's got to be something here that we need for our collection. Japanese manga. So, I mean, that looks pretty good, right? Right?
Okay, so that was probably the closest thing to like us almost failing this challenge, because there was seriously like no manga in there that we wanted. But luckily at the last minute I found one volume on the shelf that I did want. But very interestingly, as we walked in, I wish I'd gotten a video, but there was a guy like with a cart full of manga and he was like rolling it in. He had the Demon Slayer box set, the Akira box set. I saw like in his cart probably like, I think I saw Mob Psycho, I saw some Vagabond Bizbigs. It's probably stuff that we wouldn't want right now, but I think that this half-price books in the next couple days is going to be loaded with stuff, all because this one guy who I just watched like bring in like a ton of manga. I almost stopped him and was like, hey, can I like look through your manga cart before you like sell it to half-price books for pennies? Like, I'll give you more money if there's anything that I want. But I didn't. I pulled myself in. I don't know. I was being weird. I didn't want to socialize, but whatever. We're headed to 6 half-price books now.
It had dawned on us at this point that we were about halfway done. And that means there's still a lot of half-price books to come, but it also means that we were making some very important progress on this journey. And some of the cool volumes in this store were actually these Cardcaptor Sakura singles from Tokyo Pop, these Chrono Crusade volumes, which are by ADV, I believe, found JoJo's Volume 1 of Stardust Crusaders for half off, and then a lot of Rave Master volumes, so shout out to Man Manga Boy. I really almost considered picking these up, even though they were some later volumes and not exactly the volumes that I would need to actually start reading the series, but I still very strongly considered it. We also found Wolf's Rain Volumes 1 and 2. I didn't know at the time, but this is actually a complete set at just 2 volumes. And then here's a little peek into the case. But yes, we were halfway, just a little bit more to go.
Okay, so this is half-price books number 7, I believe. We still have quite a few more to go. I'm honestly, the snack was so good. I'm starting to get exhausted. But we got a couple more to go. And this one's kind of notorious because this is where I found all those Shonen Junai Gumis for a good price. And one of them is still like hanging out here for what a lot of people have told me is a good price. But let's go inside. Let's go check out what they have.
So for those of you unfamiliar, Shonen Junai Gumi is the original series before Great Teacher Onizuka, but this half price has a lot of manga, and we knew that if we planned this one as sort of the middle, you know, right after the center of the trip, we would probably have some really good finds here, and we were not at all surprised that there was a lot of manga here. And as I scan the shelf, you're probably seeing some volumes that you're thinking, oh my gosh, Jerry's got to get that, they've got to get that, but you don't know what we're going to pick up. But in the case, there's some highlights we've even highlighted before. The Beck volumes that have been here for a while, the Initial D volumes that have been here for a while. There's that Shonen Junai Gumi, the GTO, the early years, that they have for $75, which I've been told is actually a really good price for that volume, as well as a couple other sort of just miscellaneous volumes that are in the case. But I wanted to take a minute and really give you a deep dive of the shelves. So they had some Battle Angel Aelita. I thought these were pretty cool. I know that there are some hardcover editions, I believe, of that as well. They had some B-Stars, just some random volumes. Not really sure. You know, I guess some people just drop off like random volumes like that. That's a newer series, Catch These Hands. We thought that was kind of interesting to find. And as well as Boys B, I believe this is an older shoujo. Maybe, yeah, I want to say it's a shoujo that is pretty popular. So quite a few volumes of that, of the Tokyo Pop print. D and Angel, one of Waifu's favorite nostalgia series. As well as someone dropped off some Fire Force. I wonder if they're also preparing to switch over the omnibuses that are supposed to be releasing later this year. I think that that's very possible. And then I thought there was an interesting, the DMP print down here of Itsukura Kiss. Had a lot of volumes of it. Not really sure if it's popular or if people are interested in that series or not. Not one that I know much about at all. And as we come up here to the next shelf over, you see that there's even more interesting stuff. So Marmalade Boy, which just got announced that they're reprinting it, which I think is really interesting. Not reprinting, they're printing it in a new edition, but an older version of Marmalade Boy there. Muyo and Roji, which is a slightly older Shonen Jump series at this point. You saw the Dress Up Darling right next to it. Some Plunderer, which is actually a series that Waifu is really excited about. She's been reading it a lot lately. You can then see a bunch of Prince of Tennis down there. You can see a volume of number 5 by Taiyo Matsumoto. As you can see, This is the type of store that really gets you excited to be hunting for manga, to be out shopping for manga, because you just find all these cool little gems. And I don't know, this is what makes secondhand bookstore shopping so exciting, and this is why we do adventures like this, where we get to go to 11 stores in one day, because why not see what we can find, why not see what comes next, and why not see what finds us that can join our collection at home. To wrap it up, there are just a couple more volumes at the bottom here, but we are re-energized. We're ready for the second half of this trip. And here we are into another one. And honestly, after that really exciting one, we were like, wow, this is a lot of mostly Japanese manga. And you just see a random Dragon Ball Z volume, which it's kind of like, how did volume... I never understand how these volumes end up at half-price books. Do people donate them separately like this? They just have like one volume laying around? Or do people buy up other volumes that were sold in with it? Who knows? I'm not really sure how that sort of stuff happens at these half-price books. There's a couple other series still hanging out here, and we were just like, wow. So we went to one of the better ones, and now we're at one that is really almost disappointing, because we just didn't see anything that we thought might really fit what we collect. And the whole idea behind this challenge is to say, okay, yeah, if we go to secondhand bookstores, we're gonna find stuff that fits our collection. But I don't know. And then you see all these scalped up Astro Boy omnibuses, and it just becomes disheartening. And you start to think, maybe half-price books was a mistake. Maybe we don't need half-price books. Who knows? But thanks to Texas, we have it. So we're going to keep going, keep trudging along, but just know we were able to find something in this one as well.
Okay, so I'm definitely feeling this now. We are at our last, we have 3 more half-price books left in Dallas. And at this point, like, legitimately the last 3 are like actually pretty close together. But there is something special about this one that I want to show you all. This is actually the half-price books flagship store. If you didn't know, the company was actually started here in Dallas, Texas, which is pretty cool. And that's probably why there's 11 of them in Dallas. So this is actually the flagship store, which I don't know if it's like legitimately the first one, but it's called the flagship store. It's pretty massive. I'll take some video outside, but let's go in.
So as we head inside the flagship store, it was definitely dawning on us that we had mostly made it around to all the stores. We definitely were on time, which is actually pretty great, because when we started this challenge, we had a little bit of worry that we could actually make it to 11 stores, because we got a little bit of a late start to the day. But heading into the flagship store, this is the store, man. If you are in Dallas, Texas, you should at least stop by and visit. It doesn't mean that they have the best manga section, but it does mean it's just an enormous half-price book, so you can get lost in here. Just look at all this stuff. I mean, you've got Funko Pops, just a ton, which is way more than they generally have, which I found to be a bit interesting. But you can even see they have a bunch of Funko Pops in the case. We headed straight over to the manga section. And today, I felt like it was actually doing okay for itself. And you can kind of see as I scroll through here, there's some nice things, especially that Flame of Rekka right there. Our buddy Tibby, if you want to check out his channel, he actually came back and picked up all that Flame of Rekka because he wanted to start collecting the series. There was a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh here, so rest in peace to Kazuki Takahashi. I wish I had picked some of that up, honestly. But as you can see, there just was a lot of stuff, you know? And so we had to figure out what would be the one manga we got from here. And someone brought other My Hero. I bet someone's getting the box sets. But there's a lot of all just great stuff. But you can scan through, you can see, what did we get? What was the need for this store? I'm not sure, right? I'm really not sure.
Guys, we are so close to the end of this challenge. We are at half-price books number 10 of 11 here in Dallas. And honestly, the last couple half-price books have been, it's been challenging to find a volume that fits our collection, but we've done it. So we have to finish up at this point. We have to finish the challenge and buy a volume of manga from every half-price books in Dallas in one day. So we are headed into half-price books number 10, and we're tired. We're exhausted.
The exhaustion was setting in as we head into half-price books number 10. And honestly, their selection was just okay. And I don't really know how else to put it. They had a couple miscellaneous volumes, nothing too great, nothing too fancy, just some stuff here. And they do have a really large selection of, I believe that was Hajime no Ippo in Japanese at the bottom, and these Ultimos that have been overpriced in here for a while, as well as the Seraph of the End and Blue Exorcist that are also a little overpriced. I actually put a picture of this on Twitter once and got a lot of traction, which I thought was interesting. Did find these Oishimbos, which have been here for a minute now as well. Thought they were also kind of interesting, as well as obviously a lot of Yakuza Lover. They had volume 1 in the case as well to go with the 2 through 5 that they had there. But other than that, half price number 10 was okay. And I know that this was just, it felt like it was coming to an end, this trip we were on.
Honestly, we're hungry. We just want to make this quick. This is the 11th one. Let's go inside.
And here we are. The final half-price books. And yeah, we did it. And I think that's awesome because we had a goal for ourselves and we knew what we wanted to do. And while it was a little bit exhausting, we got to see a lot of really cool manga. And as you see, there's still a couple loose volumes in here, but we knew that we wanted to challenge ourselves to buy at least one volume that actually fits our collection in every single store. So as we were wrapping up here, we really had to think to ourselves, which one of these volumes is going to fit in with our collection? As you can see, they did have Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer Volume 1, but it was very upcharged. But we knew this was it, and it's been awesome. It's been such a great day. Thank you guys for joining us especially, but hopefully you'll stick around to see the massive haul that we got while we were at all 11 half-price books, because I know that it was such a fun day for us that hopefully it was a fun video for you as well. And hopefully we can do this again where we can head out to more half-price books in the area. Well guys, that's it. We just bought our last manga from the 11th half-price books. We'll head home, show you guys what all we picked up. We honestly picked up a lot of stuff, and it was really fun to actually get out and explore Dallas a little bit and just go to 11 different, I mean, it's crazy that there's 11 of them in our city. Yeah, I think there's probably no other city in the US that has more half-price books. So, but it was really fun. So we'll go home and show you guys what all we picked up. And we are officially back from our manga hunt all around Dallas, specifically at 11 half-price books locations, which is all of the locations here in Dallas. And here's all of the manga that we found. And yes, we were able to buy at least one manga volume from all 11 stores. So we bought manga from every half-price books in Dallas in just one day. It was almost 7 hours of driving and about 200 miles, give or take. So it was a lot of driving around, but we're now back home and we were gonna go, I'm gonna go hand cam and show you all of the manga that we picked up today. All right, so let me show you guys exactly what we got and which stores we got it from. So the very first store that we got manga from, the very first half price, we were able to pick up Siren Volume 3, which if you've been watching the channel, you know that I've been collecting those, and Judge Volume 4, which I'm almost done with this set now with this volume. At our next half price books, we were able to find 3 volumes. First off, this was a really great find. Strawberry 100% Volume 2 for only $3.99. That was a really awesome find. That's almost part of that set. And I decided to go ahead and get Raidmaster Volume 1. I found some more volumes for that later in the video at a different part of it. But pretty good price for Volume 1. Didn't pick up any more than that. But also I thought this was super cool. Witchblade Volume 1. This is the manga edition of it. And honestly, I don't know. I just decided to pick it up. I really like the anime version. I think it's originally based off an American comic book, but that's fine. So then at the next store, I only picked up one book, which was Crying Freeman. So this is now store number 3. Picked up Crying Freeman Volume 1. I mainly picked this up because I thought that there was a Crying Freeman Volume 2 at another store. Turns out it was already sold. So unfortunately, we only went home with Crying Freeman Volume 1. At the 4th store, we actually got quite a bit. I picked up Cyborg 009 Volume 2. I recently found Volume 1, so able to get Volume 2 for $4.99 was really sweet. And then Waifu actually picked up Yubisaki Milk Tea Volume 4 and Volume 7, which she had recently picked up Volumes 1 and 2 at another half-price book, so that was a pretty sweet find. And she picked up Frag Time, the complete manga collection. So this is pretty nice because it's just an all-in-one story.
And all those were actual half price. They weren't none of those were marked up at all. So then at the next store we went to, this would have been store number 5. We just picked up one volume. We picked up School Life Volume 12, and I'm almost done with the series now. I think I'm only missing a couple volumes. I'll have to check out what all I have, but this is really nice because this is the last volume in the set. The next store, we just picked up one volume, which was Carnival Volume 1. This is when we were struggling to find anything in the store that we actually wanted, but Waifu was interested in this one, and it is a Josei series, so we found Carnival Volume 1. And then this was one of my favorite finds, probably of the whole day. This was from the same store, but I found 5 volumes of the Kandaichi case files, so you guys can check that out. The first 2 volumes there actually don't even have volume numbers, but those are volumes 1 and 2, I believe. And I got all of those for $4.99 each. So what an incredible find. And these are in pretty solid condition. Not too much yellowing, not too much damage to the spines. Really great condition for some older, rarer manga. And Waifu actually at the exact same store grabbed this one, which is one we both had been thinking about, which is Inale and Duella. I think I'm saying that right. The artwork is so great on these. And this is a complete series at 3 volumes, but luckily they were all half off, so all $6.49, so that was really helpful. The next store, again, I couldn't find anything, but Waifu was luckily able to find, which this was crazy, Carnival Volume 2. So she actually was able to get 2 volumes of this, really awesome, and both half off, so that's really nice. The next store, we struggled again, and honestly, I thought we were done for at this store. I thought this was the end of the challenge, but I did find Trigun Volume 2. It is a little beat up. It's not exactly in perfect shape, but $7.49, and now I'm actually able to read, because now I have Trigun 1 and 2, as well as Trigun Maximum, the Omnibus Volume 1, so I actually can read quite a bit of Trigun now, which I'm excited to with the new anime coming out. At the next store, we found actually a pretty good hit, in my opinion, and that's that Waifu found 3, 4, 5, and 6 of Shortcake Cake, which is by the same mangaka that did A Sign of Affection. And Waifu had already gotten volume 1 of this a while back, so it was pretty sweet for her to get a couple more volumes. And then I actually at the same store grabbed Inspector volumes 1 and 2. This is a manga that I've actually been thinking about checking out, but I just hadn't found it for the right price and yada yada. But honestly, $5.49 a volume, great way to start the series, great way to try it out. And finally, at the very last store, we grabbed Dragon Ball Z in the Viz Bigs Volume 3. We actually found Volume 1 and 2 of this just the other day at a Half Price Books. I think it was actually at the exact same Half Price Books. So it's crazy they now put out Volume 3 for $9.99. So really great deal, and we were able to add another one of these. We need to finish up the rest of the set and be done with it. And on that note, guys, that is all that we have for you today. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you for being here. Check out all the manga, the whole haul. This has been another episode of My Waifu and Me. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. We will see you guys next time. My waifu and me. Peace. We're tired.